Hi, and welcome to session 2. Again, I'm Chris Bourne, I'm your instructor. And so for this session, what we're going to be looking at is, different parts of the campus. I'm kind of bouncing around campus, show you a little bit of campus. So make you feel like you're here. But what we're going to be focusing on this time around is we're going to be looking at what's called religious knowledge and what's called religious literacy. And so one of the things you're going to be doing in this session is you're actually going to take what's called a religious knowledge quiz. And this is not untested. I mean, it's a quiz, but it's ungraded. So just do your best. You don't have to look up the answers. But one of the things we're going to be looking at is, okay, so people in the United States say, the United States is the most religiously diverse nation on the face of the earth with regard to people who self-identify with different religions. Okay, it's also often called the most religious, at least with regard to like people say they're religious, but people in the United States tend to be ignorant about their own religious beliefs. And so one of the things that the Pew Forum has done in the past is created what's called this religious knowledge quiz. And it's trying to get an understanding of what people know about religion in the United States. And because there's this push, especially among some academics, there's this push for what's called religious literacy. Much like you would have cultural, like this push, E.D. Hirsch and these other theorists, especially in the 90s, had this push for what's called cultural literacy. And that's this notion that it's crucial for us as a culture to have common stories, common knowledge, common understanding of our own culture. And so we can have these cultural references. And so if we talk about the Cowardly Lion, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You're not looking at me like I have 3 heads, like, why are you talking about a Cowardly Lion? So we all have these stories like, okay, I'm referencing a character from The Wizard of Oz. So that's cultural literacy, cultural knowledge. So Stephen Prothero and other up in Boston and other academics argue that we also need to have religious literacy. Because religion drives behavior, that we really need to understand how religion impacts the lives of human beings. And so if we're going to understand that, we actually need to know what the religions say, at least at the very, very core. And so one of the challenges of this semester, one of the tasks is, or this summer term, is we're going to try to build up your religious literacy. And so you at least know what are the fundamental teachings of Buddhism, what's the core understanding of the caste system in Hinduism, and so what are the different denominations of Christianity and how are they different in their teaching. So we're really going to try to approach that. And so why is it important to understand religion? Stephen Prothero in the reading for this session really goes into detail about that. He starts with the story, the tragic story of David Koresh and the Branch Davidians. And if the federal government had really any understanding of Messianic theology, they would have been able to approach this with a much different way. For us in the Gulf War and the various Gulf Wars we've been in, it'd be incredibly more effective for our government leaders to understand the role of Islam in those particular societies, and also the role in extremist ideology, how martyrdom comes into play. But our federal government didn't really dive into that, and so it's important for us to really drive home this idea of like what we call religious literacy. So we're going to explore that this semester, or this session, explore religious literacy, and really get you to take that religious knowledge quiz and kind of like talk about some of these things, like why is it important to study religion in the first place, especially in the United States. With that, enjoy the activities, enjoy the reading for the session, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.